Hi guys, this is going to be a super honest review of my rhinoplasty experience with Dr. Niyazi Altintoprak. I saw Dr. Niyazi Altintoprak on Instagram. I also saw that he was on the non-botched list on a Facebook group for people who get rhinoplasty in Turkey. He had super great reviews on many different platforms like RealSelf, Google, and Facebook. So I sent him a message through his online portal and they responded to me on WhatsApp. They responded a lot faster than a lot of the other doctors, which I really appreciated. I sent them my photos. The clinic let me know that the doctors looked at my nose and said that the results that I wanted would be achievable. I booked my surgery a few weeks out and paid a deposit through the Wise app because for some reason my card kept turning it down, but the bank transfer worked just fine. I booked my flight and flew to Turkey by myself. The clinic sent a driver to pick me up at the airport. The driver took me straight to my hotel, which was nice enough. This is what I saw when I woke up in the morning. There was some guy walking on a slippery, wet roof right outside my hotel room. It was terrifying, but he was fine. The staff coordinated all my rides to and from the doctor's office for me and let me know when he would be picking me up. The driver was really friendly and we used Google Translate to chat. Then I went to the doctor's office, which was very nice. It was very up high and my ears popped on the way up. I met Dr. Niyazi, who was very nice and very professional. I showed him my inspo photos and I also showed him morphs that I made of my own nose, where I took a picture of my nose from different angles and then used Photoshop to change my nose and show him exactly what I wanted. He was well prepared for our visit and knew exactly what I wanted to do before I even walked into the room. Because as soon as I sat down, he goes, "Okay, so you want this, this, and this, right?" And I said yes. He made me a morph of how my nose would look, but honestly, I think my nose has turned out better than the morph. I hung out in the lobby for a little bit, signed paperwork, and chatted with the staff. They were all very friendly. I paid the rest of the money that I owed in cash, which I hear is very normal in Turkey. The next morning, the same driver that picked me up the previous day picked me up again with the translator, and we drove to the hospital together. The doctor came to talk to me right before my surgery and asked me if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about before going in. I was put under, and then when I woke up, I looked like this. I wasn't in a lot of pain when I woke up, except for my heels for some reason. I think because I was on the operating table for so long, because I got multiple surgeries done. I got my nose, my eyelids, and my chin. The hospital staff was very nice. They spoke enough English to communicate with me. They all knew the word painkiller, so whenever I felt a little bit uncomfortable, I would just say painkiller, and they brought me more, and they regularly brought me new bandages and ice. Dr. Niyazi's assistant sent me my table photo, which, by the way, this is not the final product. The tip drops over time, and it has, as you can see from my nose currently, but I'll show you more pictures later. After spending one night in the hospital, I felt fine enough to go back to my hotel, so the driver took me back and he instructed the hotel staff to bring me ice and walk me up to my room. Anytime I needed ice from there on out, I just went downstairs and asked for ice, and they got some for me. About 3 days post op, I felt well enough to go outside, so I walked around looking like this. I didn't worry too much about how I looked because internally I felt fine. Dr. Niyazi gave me plenty of pain meds, so I wasn't in any pain. 5 days post op, I returned to Dr. Niyazi's office to have him check out my nose. He took the silicone things out of my nose and cleaned out my nose, and I breathed so well for the first time in my life. And I said, "Is this how people are supposed to breathe? Is this how regular people breathe?" And he said, "Yeah." And I was shocked because my whole life I've been breathing at maybe 70 or 80% without realizing it. So it was a really wonderful feeling. He removed my cast and put on some tape. They gave me instructions and we took photos together. I asked one of the assistants at his office where our local salon was, and she walked me all the way there. I thought that was so sweet. These people are very helpful and they really go above and beyond. I did a little more touring that day, and then the next day I felt well enough to fly to another part of Turkey. The plane trip was just fine and I didn't have any crazy swelling or anything. Now I'm going to explain what I asked Dr. Niyazi to do to my nose and what I got. So, number one, I asked for a less bulbous nose, and I got that. I asked for the tip of my nose to be less droopy, and he did that too. The most important thing to me was to improve the side profile of my nose and to get rid of the little bump that I had and to make my nose a little bit smaller and looking pretty from the side. And I feel like he did that. Look at that. I asked for my nose to be a little bit more upturned, which he also did. Here's another before and after for you. It's a little bit hard to see right here, but do you see how my septum is a little bit deviated? I asked him to make it look like this, and that's exactly what he did, and now I breathe a lot better than before. I also asked him to shave down the bumps I had here and here on the sides of my nose. It was a little bit bumpy there, and you can see in this photo versus this one here that the bumps have been shaved down just enough. In general, I wanted my nose to take up a little bit less real estate on my face and not stand out so much in photos, and I feel like he accomplished that. My nose is a really difficult case because I have very, very thick skin, and he was able to handle it well, even though there are a lot of doctors out there who were unable to handle it and turned me down. This is a more zoomed in picture of my nose, but here's the before and there's the after. Another before and another after. My favorite part about all of this is that now in photos, I'm less self-conscious of how I look from the side, even if it's like completely to the side or a little bit to the side. Either way, I still feel like I used to look awful, and now I look amazing. Previously, I used to have to use a lot of contour on my nose, but I didn't like how that looked when I turned to the side. It only looked good when there was light coming from the front. And now I don't feel the need to wear contour on my nose, though I do sometimes just for fun or out of habit, but I don't feel like I really need it because my nose is a good shape as is. Thank you, Dr. Niyazi, for the wonderful experience. This has been a 100% honest review. I was not paid for this review. It's not a paid promotion, although if Dr. Niyazi's clinic would like to hook me up with a mommy makeover when I'm done having kids, I won't say no. Okay, guys, let me know if you have any questions. You can leave them in the comments. Bye!